Right now, as you watch this, your brain is making thousands of subconscious calculations about me. Within the first 7 seconds of seeing any human face, your amygdala, the ancient reptilian part of your brain, has already decided whether this person is a threat, an ally, or a potential mate. And here's the terrifying part. 93% of that decision happens completely outside your conscious awareness. You think you're in control of who you're attracted to. You're not. MIT neuroscientists used fMRI scanners to watch this happen in real time, and what they discovered should fundamentally change how you understand human connection. Your logical brain, the part that lists pros and cons, that thinks about compatibility, doesn't even get consulted until the subconscious verdict is already in. And by then, it's almost impossible to override. This phenomenon has a name in psychological literature: the halo effect, first documented by psychologist Edward Thorndike in 1920. But what Thorndike couldn't measure with his primitive tools, modern neuroscience has now quantified with ruthless precision. When your brain receives positive signals in those first 7 seconds, a certain smile asymmetry, a specific pupil dilation pattern, a micro-expression lasting just 40 milliseconds, it floods your neural pathways with dopamine and oxytocin. This biochemical cascade creates what researchers call a perceptual halo. Suddenly, you don't just find this person attractive, you unconsciously assume they're also intelligent, kind, trustworthy, and competent. Your brain has been hijacked, and the person triggering this response might have no idea they're doing it. Let's examine the mechanics. Dr. Paul Ekman, who spent 40 years studying facial micro-expressions for the FBI, identified exactly 43 facial muscles that create over 10,000 possible expressions. But only 7 of these expressions are universal across all human cultures: happiness, sadness, fear, disgust, anger, surprise, and contempt. During romantic attraction, your face cycles through a specific sequence that happens too fast for conscious detection, but is instantly read by the other person's visual cortex. The sequence lasts between 0.5 and 4 seconds. First, eyebrow flash. Both eyebrows raise for about 1/6 of a second. This is a universal friend signal. Then, a genuine Duchenne smile, where the orbicularis oculi muscle around the eyes contracts, creating real crow's feet. Fake smiles don't activate this muscle. Finally, brief pupil dilation. In normal lighting, pupils dilate 2 to 4 millimeters when viewing something attractive. Here's where it gets darker. These signals can be manufactured. Dr. Robert Cialdini's research at Arizona State University demonstrated that when people are trained to produce these micro-expressions deliberately, they increase their perceived attractiveness ratings by an average of 34% in controlled experiments. The subjects viewing them had no conscious awareness that anything was different. Their brains simply registered more attractive without knowing why. This is not pickup artistry. This is clinical manipulation of evolutionary biology. Your ancestors who could quickly identify trustworthy mates survived. Those who couldn't didn't reproduce. So your brain evolved a fast-track system that trades accuracy for speed, and that system can be exploited. The question is, how often is this happening to you without your knowledge? Now let's talk about the second layer: vocal tonality and rhythm. Dr. Albert Mehrabian's famous studies at UCLA found that in emotionally charged communication, only 7% of meaning comes from words, 38% comes from vocal tonality, and 55% from body language. But recent research from the University of Chicago's Center for Cognitive and Social Neuroscience found something even more specific. When someone is attracted to you, their vocal fundamental frequency, the bass note of their voice, drops an average of 30 Hz in men and 15 Hz in women. Simultaneously, their speech rhythm synchronizes with yours. If you speak at 150 words per minute, they unconsciously adjust toward that speed. This is called phonetic convergence. And your brain detects this synchronization and interprets it as rapport and compatibility, even though it's just an automatic, biological mirroring response. The implications are disturbing. Researchers at Stanford's Persuasive Technology Lab demonstrated that virtual AI assistants programmed to mirror user speech patterns were rated as 62% more trustworthy and likable than those that didn't. The users had no idea the mirroring was happening. Now apply this to human dating. Someone trained in these techniques can artificially create the biological signals your brain interprets as natural chemistry. Your conscious mind never gets to evaluate whether the connection is real or manufactured. And by the time your logical brain catches up, often weeks or months into a relationship, you've already developed emotional attachment. The neurochemical bonding has already occurred. You're invested. The manipulation window has closed. Let's examine eye contact patterns. The average duration of eye contact between strangers is 3.2 seconds before discomfort sets in. But Dr. Joan Kellerman's research at the University of Massachusetts discovered something remarkable. When strangers were instructed to maintain eye contact for exactly 4 minutes in controlled conditions, 67% reported feeling significant attraction toward their partner afterward, even when they were randomly paired and had nothing in common. The mechanism is simple but powerful. Prolonged eye contact triggers the brain's attachment systems, the same neural circuits activated during parent-infant bonding. Your brain cannot distinguish between eye contact that's happening because of genuine connection and eye contact that's deliberately extended. The neurochemistry is identical. 4 minutes of eye contact creates the same biological response as weeks of natural romantic progression. Now we arrive at the most unsettling aspect: touch escalation patterns. Dr. Tiffany Field's research at the University of Miami's Touch Research Institute mapped the exact progression of physical contact that maximizes oxytocin release while minimizing rejection risk. The sequence is precise. First, brief social touches on neutral zones, forearms, shoulders, lasting 1 to 3 seconds. These happen during laughter or conversational emphasis. If no negative response occurs, progress to longer contact on the same zones, 3 to 5 seconds. Then strategic accidental contact, knees under tables, shoulders while walking, each touch lasting progressively longer. The neurochemical effect is cumulative. Each touch that isn't rejected signals safety to the amygdala, while simultaneously releasing oxytocin in the brain's reward centers. By touch 7 or 8, which might happen over 15 to 30 minutes, the target's brain has been neurochemically primed for intimacy without a single word about attraction being spoken. The research gets more specific. Dr. Robin Dunbar at Oxford University's Department of Experimental Psychology discovered that different types of touch release different quantities of endorphins and oxytocin. Light stroking touch on the forearm at 3 to 5 centimeters per second activates C-tactile afferents, specialized nerve fibers that connect directly to the brain's emotional processing centers, bypassing normal sensory pathways. This specific stroking speed is identical to the speed of maternal infant caressing. Your brain is hardwired to respond to this stimulus with trust and attachment feelings. A person who knows this can activate your bonding mechanisms without you realizing anything unusual is happening. You'll just feel inexplicably comfortable with them, inexplicably drawn to them, and your logical brain will create post hoc rationalizations for why this person is special, never recognizing that your neurochemistry was systematically manipulated. Now let's discuss proximity and spatial invasion. Dr. Edward T. Hall's proxemics research identified 4 distinct distance zones in human interaction: public space, 12 feet or more; social space, 4 to 12 feet; personal space, 1.5 to 4 feet; and intimate space, 0 to 1.5 feet. Under normal circumstances, allowing someone into intimate space requires significant trust and comfort. But researchers at MIT's Media Lab discovered a loophole in this system. If someone gradually decreases distance in small increments, just 2 to 3 inches every few minutes, while maintaining positive emotional affect and conversational engagement, the target's brain doesn't register the spatial violation. The change is too gradual. It's like boiling a frog. By conversation's end, 2 people who started at appropriate social distance are now well within intimate space, and neither consciously noticed the transition, but their subconscious minds noticed and interpreted the intimate proximity as evidence of connection and attraction. The halo effect compounds with every positive signal received. Dr. Dan Ariely's behavioral economics research at Duke University demonstrated that once the halo effect is activated, confirmation bias takes over. Your brain begins filtering all subsequent information through a positive lens. If an attractive person says something mildly funny, your brain codes it as hilarious. If they say something slightly awkward, your brain codes it as endearingly quirky. Meanwhile, identical behaviors from someone who didn't trigger the initial halo effect get coded as annoying or off-putting. This is not a conscious choice. Your perceptual filters have been altered at the neurological level. Ariely's research found that this bias is so strong that even when subjects were explicitly warned about the halo effect and told they were being influenced, they still couldn't correct for it. The bias operated below the level of conscious access. Let's examine vulnerability exploitation. Dr. Arthur Aaron's famous 36 questions study, which allegedly can make anyone fall in love, works through a specific psychological mechanism called reciprocal self-disclosure. When person A shares something vulnerable, social pressure compels person B to share something equally vulnerable. This back and forth escalation of intimate disclosure triggers the brain's attachment systems. But here's the manipulation potential. A skilled operator can engineer one-sided vulnerability disclosure. They share something that seems deeply personal, but is actually carefully calibrated to create intimacy without real risk. Meanwhile, they extract genuinely vulnerable information from the target. The target feels deep connection because they've shared authentic vulnerability. The operator has given up nothing of real value, but has gained tremendous psychological leverage. And the target's brain cannot distinguish between mutual vulnerability and manufactured vulnerability. Now we reach perhaps the most powerful mechanism, intermittent reinforcement. Dr. B.F. Skinner's operant conditioning research, initially conducted on pigeons, revealed that intermittent reward schedules create stronger behavioral conditioning than consistent rewards. Applied to human attraction, this is devastating. When someone provides consistent attention and validation, your brain habituates. The dopamine response diminishes. But when someone alternates between intense attention and strategic withdrawal, texting immediately sometimes, going silent for hours, other times, being emotionally available then distant, your brain's reward prediction error system goes into overdrive. The unpredictability creates dopamine spikes far exceeding normal attraction. This is the neurochemical basis of addiction. Slot machines use this exact mechanism. And researchers at University College London found that romantic relationships with intermittent reinforcement patterns show brain activity identical to substance addiction. The person isn't more attractive. Your brain has just been pharmacologically hijacked. The research on scent and pheromones adds another layer. Dr. Klaus Wedekind's famous T-shirt studies at the University of Bern demonstrated that women rated the scent of men whose MHC genes, immune system genes, were most different from their own as most attractive. This makes evolutionary sense. Genetic diversity produces healthier offspring. But here's the twist. Women on hormonal birth control showed reversed preferences, preferring MHC-similar men. This means the contraceptive pill may be fundamentally altering who you're attracted to at a biological level. Some researchers estimate up to 30% of relationships might not have formed if the woman wasn't on hormonal contraceptives when the couple met. And when women go off birth control, they sometimes report their partner's scent becoming unappealing. The attraction was neurochemically manufactured by synthetic hormones. The relationship was built on a biological illusion.